Good day, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Welcome to another video about the evil ones and the attack they are committing on humanity. Basically, that's going to be the main topic of videos that I make, because they're really ramping it up. And they're sneaky. They're so freaking sneaky. So, them and their climate change, yeah, I think everybody knows how I feel about that stuff. Of course, their bright idea that they say, which is total garbage. This is not why they're doing it at all, but they're going to block out the sun to cool the planet, which is ridiculous because the planet is actually in a cooling period right now and is cooling anyway. Their science is totally bogus, every bit of it, and it's all based on models. That's what science is now. It's not actually real scientific experiments, the scientific method, all that stuff. No. It's computer models that will say whatever they want the computer models to say. That's how they're doing their science. So they've decided, Bill Gates, of course, Billy Boy's one of the biggest proponents of this, let's just block out the sun. Let's just block it out. So they're going to use, I shouldn't say they're going to use, they are doing this already. This is the other lie they're telling, saying they're about to start. They've been doing this a long time, and they're doing it in places where they haven't even said they're going to do it, like here in Canada. We haven't seen the sun hardly at all in months. Okay, and straight lines on the clouds. I mean, there's a cloud goes right from one end of the sky to the other most days, and it's a straight edge on the bottom of it, like perfectly straight edge, like a ruler. Okay, that's not, nature doesn't do that. Nature doesn't do that. They've got all these new kinds of clouds, roll clouds, and they never existed 30 years ago, but now there's, there used to be cumulus clouds and stratocumulus, or what, I don't even remember the names, but we learned about them in school. There was about 9 or 10 types, maybe 12. Now there's like 150, 200 types of clouds, okay, that didn't exist before, because they're up there messing around and they've created all these weird clouds that are not natural at all. They're man-made, cloud-seeded through geoengineering, and they had to give them new names and make everybody believe that they're natural phenomena. They're not at all. They're completely man-made clouds, okay? And for years, of course, you got, first of all, let me say, I'm really hoping to get a badge of honor on this video, which is one of those Wikipedia banners. I've gotten them before for talking about geoengineering or climate change or any of that stuff. I should get a banner underneath this video, so hopefully I do. Those are badges of honor. I think that's when you know you're over the target, okay? So for years, you would be called crazy for talking about chemtrails. They're just contrails. No, they're not. No, they're not. And now there's speculation that they're putting the chemicals in the fuel of the airplanes. Okay, so even if it was a contrail from the airplane, it's a contrail with chemicals in it because they put stuff in the fuel. And I have no trouble believing this because they've been doing the same thing with regular gasoline that we put in cars, full of nanotubes. And that's how they got all these nanotubes in everybody's body. Everybody on Earth has nanotubes in their body because they've been putting it in the fuel. And we breathe it in. So you can't find a being on this planet that doesn't have nanotubes in its body. That includes all the animals, all humans, everything. All the alien creatures that are here, whatever is here. I don't even know what all's here. Whole bunch of stuff here. And this geoengineering is real, and it's been proven over and over and over and over. You can even look at the patents of the weather modification technology they have. They've been using it since, well, openly, since the big one is Operation Popeye in the Vietnam War. They used cloud seeding and weather modification. They created extreme rain. They did this for years, too. But their main purpose of it at first was to wash out the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Okay, so it's part of destroying the infrastructure, and it's a main way for the Vietnamese to get through, and they washed it out. They couldn't use it anymore. They couldn't bring weapons through there. They couldn't bring food through there. Nothing. But then they just kept doing it to Vietnam for years afterwards. Operation Popeye lasted a long time. And do you think they just stopped after that and didn't do any more weather modification? No. They've been doing it ever since. In the UK, see, their explanation is, we're just going to put sulfur dioxide in the air. It's going to fill up the atmosphere, and the sun will reflect off of it instead of coming through. It's going to block the sun from getting to us. Sounds like a famine to me. Sounds like an extreme worldwide famine. Because the sun is what makes photosynthesis happen. Photosynthesis is a process we want to happen, or we're all going to starve. Okay, but we will all be dead before too long if they do this. And then we have another, possibly even bigger issue, actually. So Albert Einstein told us years ago that if anything happened to the bee population, he said, I think it was 4 years we had left and we'd all be done. Is anybody aware of how many bees we've lost? So I know of 2 major reports on this that happened. First, it was that we lost 80% of all the bees in the world because of all this stuff. Geoengineering, microwave directed energy weapons, insects have navigation systems and things, and you put all these microwave beams and stuff in the air and you kill them. You literally kill them, plus all the chemicals they're spraying. They've killed, the first round, they killed 80% of the world's bees. Okay, we lost 80%. So we only had 20% left. Now, they say 60% of that 20% has disappeared. Do you know what that means? That means, according to Albert Einstein, we're just about done. Because they're still dropping like crazy. They're dying straight time. This is what the lunatics are doing to planet Earth. They want a plastic fake world. They don't want anything natural. Natural they can't control. They want to be able to control every last thing. Okay? Decide how much food gets grown, blah, blah, blah. They don't want you to be able to grow food, because then you can keep yourself alive. If they want you dead, they want to be able to take your food away, and you die. So what's going on? This is it. I wish I was wrong about this, but I know I'm not. I've looked into this so deeply, and this is exactly what they're doing. Okay? The bees are probably, of the 2 problems, well, I mean, the 2 problems are connected because the geoengineering is one of the things killing the bees. But the bees being all gone, that's probably the biggest problem of all. That's horrendous. You can look that up. Albert Einstein talked about the bee population collapsing, and if it did, we'd be screwed. Because he knew the stuff they were doing, and he knew what that was going to do to the bees. People are taking videos all over the world, going out in they got a cement patio outside that everybody sits on or whatever, and they'll go out in the morning, and on the patio, dead bees everywhere on their backs, just laying there, legs in the air. What just makes a whole bunch of bees drop dead all of a sudden? Chemicals. Mostly the chemicals. So we got problems. And the weather, if the weather sucks where you're at, they're modifying it. They're modifying it. No, okay, no, I shouldn't say it that way. If the weather sucks way more than it ever has since you've been alive right now, that's because they're modifying it. We've barely seen sunshine. We're almost halfway through May. There's no sun. Every day it rains and it's cloudy and dreary, and I've always got the air conditioner in that window that you see back there. That's where my air conditioner goes every year, and it's got to be in there usually the first week of April, second week of April. We're a month past that. You can see there's no air conditioner in that window. I haven't needed it. Now, is that kind of nice in a way? Well, yeah, it's better on electricity, and I haven't had to go through the pain in the ass of putting it in the window. But that's not normal, and it's not conducive to me growing all the vegetables I want to grow outside. Even if I had my vegetables in, they wouldn't be doing anything because it's just dark and cloudy every day. There's no sun. You get a little bit of sun for an hour sometimes, and then the dark clouds come over again and just cover the sky. And like I say, there'll be a cloud going from one end of the sky right to the other, as far as you can see, with a perfectly straight line. Just like, the line of the ceiling up there. That's straight. Straight across from one end of the sky right to the other. I think they call them a shelf cloud. Give me a break. A shelf cloud. I see. And the roll clouds are even funnier. These things they call roll clouds. There's something so unnatural. People are taking video and pictures of them. There's no way. The sky never had anything like that in it. Ever. It's no one's ever seen this stuff. To quote Donald Trump, no one's ever seen it before. No one's ever seen that before. Everything he says is no one's ever seen it before. Levels no one's ever seen. So, yeah, that's what we got up in the sky. What no one's ever seen. No one knows what to even think of it. It's geoengineering. That's what it is. So thanks again, Billy Boy. With your sulfur dioxide idea, blocking out the sun, we can all look forward to a nice famine. But maybe that's why he's putting that appeal. I made a video about appeal, so the vegetables don't go bad. The vegetables that exist now, it might need to keep them all going as long as we can, because maybe there's no new ones going to grow. That's my concern. Or a lot less are going to be grown, because the photosynthesis is being reduced in a big way. They're a bunch of lunatics. A bunch of maniacs. Oh, and their geoengineering, one of their geoengineering programs, I wish I remember what it stands for. I'll look that up and put it in the description. It's called Satan. It's literally called Satan. That's what they called it. Now tell me that is not putting it right in our face that they serve the devil. They got this, what do you call that stuff? Something gel. Anyway, it's in the vaccine delivery systems, called luciferase. The word Lucifer with ASE on the end of it. Why would you do that? Why would you call things like that? Hydrogel or something, or whatever it is. But it's part of the vaccine delivery system, and they named it luciferase, or luciferase, they call it. Well, now they have a geoengineering problem or program called Satan. At least they're honest. I'll say that.